says, your kind and thoughtful expression and sympathy is deeply appreciated. Longwood Baptist Church, my heart filled things goes out to each and every one, each of you, for all your acts of kindness during David's sickness and death, your phone calls, your visits, and all the food you prepared and brought. You really made us feel loved and special. Most of all, your prayers, please continue to lift us up as we adjust to a new life. May God bless each and every one of you. Always, Priscilla and Tim. Also, I got another one. We can't thank you enough, but we hope you know we appreciate everything. Thank you for all the phone calls, the visits, food, and prayer. We have a wonderful church family who has shown us lots of love during this difficult time. We love you, the Morris Smith family. Okay, on to announcements. Choir sing tonight at Powerway Freewood Baptist Church.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
And everybody get you one of these.
Okay.
Make sure you keep up with it and bring it back. This is what we're going to use. But make sure you bring it back along with it, because I think, I'm not sure about that, they might have to. But make sure you bring ours back when you come.
Okay. Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, we will be having our conference. We will wait on the teacher, right?
Teachers, okay, I'm sorry. Said preacher.
It'll be
Just
a
keep the
regular.
regular conference.
Is there any more announcements? Have any birthdays? See none, can I get a couple ushers?
Okay, y'all can help us with this.
Thank God for it.
Late, brother.
Ready, my brother?
That's why I want everybody to hug me. You probably just got the crud again. Yeah. Had it all week. So there you go. But I do love each and every one of you. You come more than twice as a visitor, we're gonna claim you. So we worry you that. Been quite a week. Sick Monday. And you know, people look at the preacher like the preacher ain't supposed to have problems, or he ain't supposed to worry, or he ain't supposed to this, or he ain't supposed to that. But I tell you, y'all, a preacher is just a man called, held to a higher standard, that has all the problems that you have. And problem. Because I tell you, I stopped talking to preacher Wayne Fall. And y'all remember Miss Catherine, like I said earlier. I said, you know, preacher, I said, you had to be strong and be careful, because everybody's problem becomes your problem. And you being a pastor, that's how it's supposed to be. And then you got to deal with all your problems on top of that. And then work on top of that.
What you do in your spare time?
I'm trying to go fishing and just talk to the Lord. I'll tell you though, just for example, anybody here had to deal with work orders? I know Israel does, Florida probably does. You get a ticket. You know how it is to get a work order that's been passed down from person to person? You know, Wednesday I get one simple job. Just imagine this bottle. Go change this bottle out. Take 2 bolts loose, stick this bottle in, tighten the clamp up, you're done. That's simple, ain't it? Simple as it can be. Well, in the procedure, the first paragraph, first line says that this bottle, it's a nitrogen bottle about that big, shall be hydrostatically tested within the last 12 months. So me being the paying attention type person that I was for, I get the bottle, and the bottle says received May of 2016. I said, well, we can't put this in. So my boss says we go to the work control center, where the people that are way, way smarter than you, they say when people talk to you, if they have their hands like this, they're automatically thinking, I'm way smarter than you are. So this little young senior reactor operator, he puts his hands like this, and he says, why are we at the point of implementation, putting this bottle in, and we're just now finding this out? And he said it in a real crude voice. The nice Chris said, well, I'm not sure. And then it's like you pushed the safety off. I said, you know, yes, I do know why it's like this. I said, because it's been passed through 3 people, and it was handed to me to do this morning. I've had it for about 30 minutes. We don't have time to get our work straight. And that's why it's like that. And then he fired back at me. And I went back to the shop. My foreman was on the phone. He hung the phone up. I said, well, they're probably calling you to tell you, they're going to call you to tell you that I just went off the deep end in the work control center over there. And he said, actually, that was them. He said that guy called and was apologizing for speaking to you in the manner that he did. And if you would go back, he would apologize to you face to face. And I said, I'm good. I didn't go back there and apologize. But then, does anybody drive an orange Honda CRV in there? It was in Charlotte the next day. Because me and the wife went out to eat and enjoy enjoy an evening together. And I'm driving the speed limit, 35, and these lights are so bright, when they flash, when they flicker, I mean, you automatically see dots. I mean, blind you. He flicked them. Mandy said, why is he doing that? I said, I don't know. Then he flicked them again. I said, I wish he would quit that. And then the third time, he went to flicking them like that, he or she went to flicking them like that, so I hit the brake and we were in the parking lot and was hoping that they would turn in there so I could push my safety off again. But I had to deal with the same things, y'all. That's the kind of week that I had, y'all. It's just been, you know, sick, and then people want to be crazy. It'll get with you. I tell you, it will. But only by the grace of the good Lord can you control your composure and not do so. Because that's why I told my neighbor. My neighbor he was in that work control center. And he was on the phone. That's who I wanted to talk to. He heard me kind of get a little irate there. And he said, no, you done exactly the right thing. I said, you don't understand, Mr. Mark. I said, there was plenty of opportunity to have done the wrong thing there. And you know, we pray that we don't do the wrong thing, because then we set the wrong example, right? You know, and it's hard not to. It just, sometimes you do, just ask the Lord to forgive you, and He will. But everybody awake this morning?
Yes, sir.
Amen. Acts chapter 20. Paul wrapping up his visit to the many churches and countries that he'd been and head back home. The main part of the sermon will be from Acts chapter 20, 13 on, but I feel like in studying, I just got to read this. I asked everybody who was awake, and I'll start reading in verse 8. You don't got to worry about it. I'm just going to start reading there. Y'all get 13. And there were many lights in the upper chamber where they gathered together. And there sat in a window a certain young man named Eutychus, being fallen into a deep sleep. And as Paul was long preaching, he sunk down with sleep and fell down from the third loft and was taken up dead. And Paul went down and fell on him, and embracing him said, trouble not yourselves, for his life is in him. So if you fall asleep this morning and hit your head on the pew, just let you know, I don't have the powers of Paul, so you'll know. But, you know, Paul's a great man. Luke followed him around, taking down a lot of his writing, you know, what he said. And this is how he went to all these different churches, these different groups of people, and spread the gospel message. Now, this is kind of like the end of, this is his farewell tour, if you will. He's going to tell these people here how to act after he's gone, and the things to be wary of that we can put in place today and apply it to our own church and our own lives. I'll start reading verse 13. And when we went before to ship and sail to Assos, there intending to take in Paul, for so he had appointed man himself to go afoot. Paul was going to walk. It was about a 20-mile stretch there that these guys were going to get on a boat and ride over. Paul decided to go across land. Think he just needed a little break, time to clear his mind and talk with the Lord. Don't we all need that in our lives? You know, everybody's got their different way of doing it. I mean, walking, exercising, you know. In any place you're at, you know, I hate to relate everything to work, but